So we're here to talk through this Tapa alternative puzzle by Takeya Saikachi with a really beautiful theme. It's called Antonyms, and almost everyone will have caught on to the word antonyms, love, hate, new, old, right, wrong, as examples of the theme playing out. But you might not have seen that the numbers 1 and 2 are working as anti-symmetric clues in this puzzle too. Ones are opposite twos in all cases. This clue with two twos and a 1 is opposite to ones and a 2. These are anti-symmetric with themselves, and the single 1, single 2 over to a single 1 and single 2. In the opposite spaces. So really beautiful anti-symmetric antonyms construction for this theme. And a few different ways we can get started. We can definitely lean into the variant rule about the letters, but I'm actually going to start with just Tapa rules and Tapa thinking to show you some of the ways the puzzle layout really works. And this 2-2 clue on the edge is the most easy Tapa thing to do, and it marks in a D, but there are no other Ds to take care of. But really it's going to be thinking about these 1-1 clues, and then that we only have 1s and 2s, it's thinking about connectivity through the whole grid. So let's get started and show you some examples of that. On the top, these cells must connect to the rest of the Tapa somehow, and they aren't coming through this channel, so they have to come across the top here. And they also aren't able to come through this channel all as a stretch, because there are only as large as 2 in the space. So where we've got this 1-1 blocker, this is a space that the Tapa comes through from the top to the side to get to the rest of the grid. And so that's a tension we have to think about. We're going to have a 2 pattern like this or like this for the shape to work out. And how can we force which those is? Well, it's going to come from looking at this 2 clue down here, I think. This 2 is touching to a 1, so we can't take this cell. That would force this for the 2, but that's incompatible with the 1. So we can mark this off. That marks this in. And where you have this option and this option for the 2-2 snake, this cell being marked in forces this option for that snake. That completes this as a 2, completes this as a 2, puts in this 1. This comes over, finishes this out. So we have L, V, and R marked in. So R off here, L off here. V was unique. E being marked off, I still have 2 options for, so can't do more of that. Again, for connectivity, this has to come through this top stretch to work out. We still have some flexibility down here, but 1-2-2 is a full clue, so we only have single white cells, and we're going to have a blocker here for this to work out. This has to be taken, that marked off for the Tapa to work through. This is a no 2x2 rule. For connectivity, this R has to then extend over to this I, and this 1 clue is finished. So actually this 1-1 here has this force shape to it. That N being marked off means this N is marked in. So we've got okay sort of logic there. Let's now, I think we have to do one more step over on the right before we can really think about connectivity through the bottom, and that's we haven't actually dealt with the consequences after this first clue with the 2 around it. The first thing it does is it marks off everything from this 2. This one needs one of these cells shaded, but it's not this one because that can't connect to the rest. It is this one. This 1-2 clue now on the edge has 4 cells to go with 1 white in the middle here. So one of these is white. This is shaded. That marks off this E clue, marks this in. And that's going to create the next tension in the grid, which is we now have another gap to cross. And again, recognizing we have 2 plus 2 kind of snake shapes, this one actually doesn't connect through to the middle of the grid. So the only way to get connected is coming through this space, and this has to take 2 on one side with 2 on the other side, or 2 over here with 2 over here. So just recognize that the same way this top left was a necessary connection path, this bottom middle is a necessary connection path. We're going to have 2 longs. We'll always use these cells. We'll use either or of these, but that's going to actually finish out this 2-2 with what's coming off this. So this, you can't ever reach this W, so this W must be shaded, and it means around this 1-1-2 clue, these are all marked off, because there will only be a singles left. This is the 2. This, whether it's the top or bottom cell, this is the 2 of this clue. And so now we've got connection coming through in a different way. We've got to take this cell for this to stay connected. We can mark off these. We're going to need to have the Tapa coming through the bottom in this way for connectivity to make sense. And what you'll see then is we've got this right bit and this right bit. These are going to come together. And these still have to get connected, so these come across. That puts in this T marks off this O. All the O's but this one are now marked in, so this has to be shaded. This completes the 1-1 clue. This T has to come over to work. That's going to mark off this H, so both this H and T are off from things we know. Marks this in, marks these in. The A is shaded now at this stage. Connection through the middle has to be through this cell, so this is the 2-2 pattern. Marks in this. And with this G marked off, this G is marked in, that shades these and puts in the space. So we actually never used the unique letter constraint. Some people at the start of the puzzle could have gotten these three shaded cells, sorry, these four shaded cells, looks like these four unique letters in the grid. But we chose to do it by focusing on the Tapa steps. And I think the interesting bits are the connectivity in this puzzle, both through this top left channel, which we got pretty early on, and then this bottom middle channel later as the constraints played out. So that's how the 1-2 clues really worked in this grid. And again, like with a really elegant theme in general, that this even has one solution is always amazing to me, that you can get this kind of an anti-symmetric antonyms theme and still have the logic play out in a compelling way. So thanks to Takeya for the grid. Thanks for you all for watching this video. Hopefully you learned something from it, and we'll see you again soon.